I'm limited to what I can film. I've seen it on previous videos a few times, the build room there, and they've got the radio on. But I've noticed today, Goldie stuck with his nose in that pipe there, and the other fish hanging around for some reason. I don't know why. Now I thought he was only for half an hour or so, but he's been there now over an hour. If I go over there, he'll swim away. It's just a funny, strange how you do. I left the trickle in last night by mistake, so it's nothing to do with the water, so the pond should be fully freshed. I've had to put fresh malachite in this morning because I treated it yesterday, obviously because I've had the tap on all night. Only a trickle in, but it's diluted it all, so I've redone that today. But saying that, all the little fish, they're all swimming around as happy as Larry. It just seems strange. And there's Ginger, the size of Goldie. Very strange. On my last video, I hope I get this correct, and Mr. Magnet 007 replied to my video, which I utterly respect, and thank you very much for your comments, asking me to take water samples from the bottom of the pond. Now, the idea was stick your thumb over your test tube. Stick your thumb over your test tube. Obviously put your arm in the bottom of the water. Take your thumb off. You got a water sample from the bottom of the pond. Apparently it's better than we keep taking the water off the top. Now this morning I've sat there thinking and thinking and thinking, how could I get around doing that but still have water off the bottom? Skeggy, you like this, mate. So, my pond is pump fed. So my water's being sucked out of a pump from the bottom of my pond into my filter. So this is my theory that I want to share with all you lot. Okay then. As you all know, I've got the Nexus 300. So in theory, that water there is at the bottom of my pond, because it's sucking straight out my pump straight into there. So because I'm doing 3 or 4 samples now, in theory that should be water from the bottom of my pond. How's about that for a result? The Bullshit water tests, I just thought I'd add this little bit, and I do appreciate the comment, thank you very much. A lot of people have also said about me keep adding fish. You know, a lot of people have bought fish when I'm not been here. I had the type of person to say, like, you got to take them out, take them back. What can you do? It's a nice thought of people. Most of the fish are for Mason. I've not got another tank. Sorry about the scratching, sweating. I've not got a quarantine tank, unfortunately. I just take up the room because, as you know, we've got Mason. I'll flick you around. Oh, you can't see properly. His trampoline's there. That's my missing little sun trap. It was. So Mason's got his trampoline there now. So I've got very little garden left, and that was one of the reasons last year I was going to film my pond in. So Mason, I've got a bigger play area. But anyway, we've decided not to. The Black Country boys have supported me. Mason don't want me to fill it in, so it's staying there. So I'm short of space to put a quarantine tank. That's what I was getting at. Sorry about the scratch. I think I've got flies. So anyway folks, a little tip, whether that'll work or not, I don't know. I hope it's helpful for you lot, but I'm going to do a test now. I ain't going to add it on because you've all seen tests and done tests yourself before. I might just put the results on and see how it is. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a sample off the top of the pond and I'll do 2 different tests, and I will put them on and we'll see if there's a difference. Okay, last year I done a video on this little piece of wood, how to make a little workbench I suppose. Scrap piece of wood. I'll see if I can find the video out. As you know, I had a lot of trouble with my computer, so I lost a lot of footage. If I can find it out, I'll show you how I made this little bit of a station, and you can actually turn your bottles upside down so they drain, and it holds the bottle in, and you can also turn them proper way up, and that'll hold it in to do your tests. a little slot for your card. I don't know whether you can see that on the video, holes for your bottles, and there's also, I don't know whether you can see that clip there, that's in the way I think. There's a clip there which you put your syringe in upside down for the water to drain out and dry. So, anyway, in theory, this is the water that's come out the filter, in theory, from the bottom of the pond. I'm just going to fill these three, and then I'm going to wash the jug out, and then I'm going to take water from the top of the pond, 5 ml. I'm just going to do the 3 tests. So I'm going to go and swill that out, get me 3 more bottles. I've got another set somewhere because I've got a new kit. They'll actually be in here, won't they? So that'll be in this kit. I need to drop the lock then, it's upside down. So I'll set these up and I'll sort these out and I'll get back to you with some water out the pond. Okay, I'm back. This is water out the top of the pond. These are the 3 bottles for the top of the water. These are the ones with the water in. I've even swilled the syringe out. Me personally, I don't think it's going to make a blind bit of difference, but you can but try these things. Again, 5 ml of water in each one. There you go. So that's that one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put all the tests in these bottles exactly the same. You've seen it all before a million times. I'm going to allow each 10 minutes for 2 outer ones. Them 2, I think it's a couple of minutes for this one. So I'll set my timer, I'll get the chemicals in, give them a shake them at the same time as well, so there's no difference in them. And then I'll show you the results. Okay, the timer's set. Shake together. This one's only a 2 minutes, you should see the results in 2 minutes. Now there is one thing that I have noticed that I've done wrong. I've used this kit, and this kit was the one that was out of date. But if you've watched my videos in the past, I did a review on one that's out of date, and this one was a brand new one that I bought. So that's the brand new one that I bought, and there's no difference at all. There might be a difference in this. Obviously these are all going to read exactly the same because they're all out the same bottles. But what I will do after I've done this test, I'm going to bore you with another test. I'll swill all these out, I'll do the test exactly the same again. But I might film it, then you can see then if there's a difference between an out-of-date one and again a new one. So we'll see what the results are on this. So while I'm waiting for 10 minutes, I'll cut you off and I'll come back to you. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. So the first test, after a couple of minutes, you're just supposed to view it. This is the one that's come out the bottom of the pond. This is the one that's come out to the top. Don't know whether you can see any difference in that whatsoever. None at all. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to look at the bottle so you can get a clear view. Got an ultimate white behind it. And both identical colours. So does it make a difference if it's taken from the top of your pond or the bottom? My personal opinion is absolutely no. I suppose some people can say, well, I don't really take the water from the bottom of the pond, but in theory it's being sucked straight out of the pump, straight in the top of that filter, that's straight out of the bottom of the pond. But I have took your advice and I do appreciate it, thank you very much, and I have put it to the test. There is a slight nitrate spike, obviously, That's because I've got my auto feeder on, so I'm feeding heavy. I'm still waiting for the timer for the ammonia. Again, the timer's not up yet. See if I can turn the label so you can see they look identical. The one from the bottom of the pond, the water from the top. And the nitrate, again, identical. Bottom of the pond, top of the pond. And I clean the jug out and the syringe out before I use the water at the top of the pond as well. And like I said, the 10 minutes are not up yet. And I'm quite pleased with them results at the moment. So I'll just wait for the alarm to go off and then I'll get back to you with the results. Okay, the clock's just... Oh yeah, it's there on the camera actually, sorry about that. The alarm's just gone off. Wind's blowing a hoolie. Again, the one from the bottom of the pond, the one from the top of the pond. Absolutely identical. No difference at all. That's the ammonia. The nitrate, again, the one from the bottom of the pond, the one from the top of the pond, and I'm sure you'll agree, they're identical. Nitrates and nitrates, like I say, I expected them a little bit off the norm because of overfeeding, I suppose, because it's the time of the year. I ain't too fussy about that, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wash everything out, and just to make sure, I'm going to do exactly the same tests again. I ain't going to use these tubes, I'm going to use these tubes just to make sure. Clean these out with tap water just to make sure. So I'll put these 3 tubes, the same labels, the same way, so we get a fair test. So I'll clean them all out and I'll get back to you. So I've cleaned the jug and I've dried it as well. This is the water from the bottom of the pond. Oh, I don't need that much, do I? I've also got completely, sorry about the camera here, completely separate clean syringe, so as onto the test as fair as possible. I've had to clear everything off here just to get to that water. So I'll set it all back up and I'll come back to you in a minute. Now I cleaned that sack out this morning and look at the algae. It's now quarter to 2. I've done that this morning about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And look at that already. Unbelievable. So it's working a treat. I hope you can see this properly. There's the test tubes I used earlier. I ain't cleaned them out yet, and there's the other syringe. Just so it's nice and fair. I did clean the jug and I've dried the jug. And another dry syringe. Now, I know I'm using these bottles and they're not for the nitrates and the ammonia, but just so as you can see, the same test. So I'm going to get the water in. I'll use the bottles out the box this time with aiming date. Again, I've all seen this 1,000 times. I just want to see if there's a difference with the water from the bottom and the water from the top. This is the water from the bottom again. That's that one. I'll just go and tip this away now and I'll get water from the top. I've washed the jug and I've dried it just so there's no chlorine in it to make the test any different. The only thing I can't do is the syringe. In fact, what I'll try and do is just trying to make sure that there's no chlorine or anything in the tap water that can corrupt the test as best as I can. So I've dried that out now with the towel. So now I'm going to get some water from the top. That water is from the bottom of the pond. This is the water from the top. Okay, so we got water from the top of the pond. Sorry, too much water. 5 mil, make sure it's all equal. Tell if that went in the water then. 1, 2. I'm assuming that's dropped in because, so I'm taking that as 5. I can't see no water, I can't see no fluid on the wood, so I'm assuming that dropped in the bottle. Checking the instructions. That one is for nitrite. This one you've got to shake for 30 seconds. Okay, just check, make sure 6 drops of each. That one. That one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set my timer and then I'll come back to you. So I'm going to put the same tops on each one. I know these are the right labels for the test, but they should be identical. Ammonia, nitrite and nitrate. So we've got the same test with the same bottle. Look, they're fresh. Set the chemicals, so I'll get back to you in a minute. A couple of minutes have gone past. That's all it takes for this one. The longer you leave this, sometimes the pinker it goes. Again, this is the water from the bottom of the pond, this is the water from the top. This is a brand new testing kit. Again, I'd like to say the other kit is well out of date. This is a new kit. Again, identical, absolutely identical, and that's the identical test to the one I done earlier. No different at all. So that's them two done. I have washed all the others. I've got them all soaking in there, look, syringes and everything. So if you take your water from the top of your pond or you take the water from the bottom of your pond, the test is exactly the same. How long this will last out of date, I'm not sure. See if I can find my box and find the date on it. This is the box. That expired the 6th. I don't know whether you can see that. That expired the 6th, 2022. Now that box has given me exactly the same reading as this brand new box. And you can see the date on that one. I don't know whether you can see that. 2024. So is it something else that we've been ripped off with? All I can do is show you my results and you take it for yourself what you believe. But I've just done that test there. Identical, clean bottles, no difference at all. I know the labels are wrong on there, but it's exactly the same test, exactly the same colour. Bottom of the pond, top of the pond, the water makes no difference. It's not made no difference in this test anyway. So I'm just waiting for the timer now. The ammonia. At the moment it's looking no different. They're looking no different. I'm just waiting for the timer so we can get it checked there. So as soon as the 10 minutes is up, I'll get back to you. Okay, the alarm's just gone off. I did. I've got to hold my hands up, forget to shake them as you see me in the video. This is the water from the bottom of the pond. This is the water from the top of the pond. Again, identical. The out of date one and the in date one, no difference at all whatsoever. This is the nitrate. Again, expect it to be a little bit off because of the feeding. Almost identical, I would say, to the last test. Out of date by a long while as well. 12 months out of date, something like that. No difference at all. And testing your water from the bottom of your pond to the top of your pond, that test there proves there's no difference whatsoever. But that's just my test what I've done. I do appreciate all my comments, like I say, Mr. Magnet, if that's your name, 007, I do appreciate it. I've done a test especially for you, sir. I hope you're happy with them results. Obviously there will be people saying I never actually put the tube in the bottom of the pond and done it, but in theory the pump's sucking the water directly from the bottom. Within the matter of seconds, that's water from the bottom as far as I'm concerned. So I did follow the instructions and I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you to all my subscribers, all my old ones that continue to support me, and all you new ones that are coming aboard. I'm really glad that you're enjoying the videos. I'm going to try if I can get somebody to come and help me to get Goldie out. I'm a little bit concerned today. I've done a little video earlier. I'm just looking over my shoulder now, watching Goldie now. In fact, I'll take it into the garden and show you. I'm a little bit concerned. I have sent a video to the lads on the group to find out if they think there's anything wrong. I have got malachite in and the temperature's hot, but I've got a lot of air stones running. Sorry to keep looking away. I'm just looking, they all seem to be trying to get into that pipe. So I'm going to take it in the garden and show you. And there's Goldie. Sorry about the music. I'll can't be nothing, it's the neighbours. I really don't know what's going on there. Very strange. As you can see over there, the little fish, if you can see them. They're all off the bottom now from down the pump. Swimming around, they're all feeding, all active. That's Bully, the one we had off Mason off Scrag 68, our Craig. Oh, he's swum off now. Whether it's just sunbathing or what it is. Just concerned about, that's a bit of a, if I span you around you can see the sun there. whether they're just doing a little bit of bathing like the other two. I don't know whether you can actually see them. There you go. Just basking there, whether it's because of the warmth, I don't know. But it's saying that if I scan you around, I'm shaded all the way around there as well. And we've got another little sun trap there, so there could be holding out there as well. It seems okay. There he is, Goldie. I am limited to what I can record day by day because the here again scratching my head. Radio I was given, obviously the lads I'm working, so, and the tools, they've got to do what they've got to do. So I'm in between little bits and dabs here and there. So I hope you've enjoyed that bit of a test, and I hope it's answered a few questions to people. And yeah, you can leave comments so I can read what you think about the results. Well, I'm deeply concerned about Goldie. I'm just going to flick around now. I did record it earlier. My missus noticed Goldie doing it yesterday. He has been feeding. He's just constantly got his face in that pipe. And he could be eating larvae. I wouldn't have thought he'd been eating that long. The ice pipe was on last night, all night, just on trickling, which diluted the malachite, so I put malachite in again today. And it does look like, I won't say gasping for air as such, there's plenty of air stones in there. It can't be the water because it was running all night last night, so it can't be lack of oxygen in the water. All the other fish are all swimming around hunky dory. I really don't know what's going on, so what my intention am now is just put my hose pipe on for 10 to 15 minutes on like a shower pattern and just see what happens. I'm just going to try and set it all up and see if anything happens with that. Leave it on for a while and see if Goldie swims through there. It is, look, still there, look. It does look like he's trying to munch something out of the pipe. But I've got a lot of larvae now in both filters, my Nexus and that one. So whether it's actually the larvae that's coming out. Then if you watch my videos last year, I had a gin ring shag and he had his head buried in the pipe that comes out the filter, and that was purely because he was trying to eat it, but the feed has gone off. I know you can see that bit of food left there. There's a little bit of food floating around. So I don't really know what it is, if I'm honest. I am deeply concerned. I'm going to put the hose pipe on and see what happens. I'm just wondering whether it is. I would have thought it'd continuously feed. As you can see, I've got the shower spray running. I'm not disturbed in myself. And now he's gone down the bottom there, look, and he's swimming about again. Leave it on for 5 or 10 minutes like I said, and see if there's a reaction. I just swum past the other pipe. There it is now. Back under the bridge obviously because I'm filming that side. Almost like he knows I'm filming. I'm obviously down the bottom now because like I said, the feeder's gone off. And they tend to feed and then go down the bottom while they digest it, then come back up for more. But there does seem to be a little bit flying about over there. There's a bit of debris on the water because I've brushed the bottom pump off and the little pump to the green filter because of the algae. It's swimming about okay. What I can do is keep it updated. Coming to the surface again. You see it's not gasping for air. If it was in the pipe for air, I would have thought it'd done it off the other side. There's more water flow coming out of the pipe. And as you can probably see, he's swimming about lovely again now. So no, it's just something that he's eating out the pipe. You see on camera you can see the little fish that was hunkered down by the water pump. I'm up and swimming about now. I don't know if you can actually see by the water by there, the two little ones up them up and swimming about as well. There's nothing down by the water pump now. So hopefully whatever was aggravating them, hopefully I've sorted the problem out. Okay, I've been standing here quite a while. I put the hose on, whether it's just distracted him and he swum off. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this over. I'm going to spin you down and show you. He's still there. So I'm thinking he's put this over that pipe so he don't damage his mouth on the pipe and see what happens.